for tuning in to Conversations with Kendell Lenice. I'm your host, Kendell Lenice. I thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time watching, welcome to Conversations. A little bit about me. I am a motivational speaker, a life coach, and an author, and your host for Conversations with Kendell Lenice. My main goal is to truly inspire and motivate and uplift people. That is what I'm called to do. That's what I do. So that's what this show is for. And it is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, hence the pink, So that's what we're going to talk about today as we're winding down with Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October. Today is the 30th, so we're going to kind of put a wrap on the month, of course, but not the cause and not the subject of breast cancer. So what's happened this week? Well, I just want to give a shout out and a congratulations to the founder of RadioOnFire.com. That is Diamond K. For those of you that don't know, he is running for 8th district? Yes, Baltimore County City Council, Baltimore City Council. So he just told me today he may not be here on Fridays. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm happy for you, Diamond, and congratulations. And I wish I could vote for you because I would. I'm gonna have to get a Baltimore City address so I can vote for you. But he's doing big things. Also, Radio on Fire is still going to live on, but so wish him the best. Send him your blessings in that race. So he's getting into the political arena. Yeah, hand clap for that. That's doing big things. Okay, so my shining stars here today, they are breast cancer survivors, and we have a breast cancer supporter here. They have the strength, the beauty, and the grace of superheroes. So it's funny that we were talking about that a few minutes ago. Joining me today are Gloria Jennings. We have Desiree Mercano. Yes. Mercano. Yes. And Miss Joan Mercano. Did I say it right? Yes. Okay. Well, welcome to Conversations.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much to be brave enough to share your journeys and your stories with us. Because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that have been supporters of people with breast cancer and that are going through breast cancer recovery right now. So I really think it's big, and I know we were talking earlier. You guys, we really had a show before the show. We were in the conference room, and I think we had our show. So I hope we can capture the same conversation, because that's what it's about, to have a relaxed conversation. I want you to feel like you're with friends or you're in the living room. I don't do this show to kind of questions and interrogate. It's all about love and sharing. So I hope we can get a little bit of what we had in the conference room. Yeah. So thank you so much once again for joining. I said Conversations. I have an outline because that's just how I go. But ultimately, I'm going to feed off of you guys. We're going to talk about openly whatever you guys want to talk about. Is that good with you guys? Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let's jump right in. Like I said, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What does that month mean to you? What does October mean to you? Someone that's going through it, or someone that knows someone that's going through it? Because Miss Joan is Desiree's mom. Yes, so she's and Desiree is a cancer survivor.
I am.
So tell me, ladies, what does the month of October mean to you?
Well, October is a very big month, I know, for me. Because with it, you see pink ribbons, and breast cancer is so much more than a pink ribbon.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It is really about the issue of a disease that is rampant in the community. We're losing mothers and daughters and sisters, and we even know a man who had breast cancer. So everybody can be touched by it. Because it's the type of disease that you might not find until late. It's taken away these very important, women out of our lives, primarily women out of our lives. So when I see October, I feel like this is the time to make people aware of this disease, and to be able to get people to, in their awareness, to, research, raise monies, advocate for some sort of cure.
Okay, wonderful, and I think that's excellent. Miss Gloria, what does this month mean to you?
It means to celebrate. There are so many women, or well, people, I should say, women and men, that are going through or have gone through this health challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like calling it a disease. I call it a challenge.
Okay.
Because that's exactly what it
Okay.
is. And they don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do. So every year for the last 3 years, I've given an event to celebrate breast cancer survivors.
Mm-hmm.
And
So you give an event that everyone can attend? Is that
well, I gave the bus trip,
okay?
and then I gave, what did I give last year?
Where was the bus trip? What
To
was
New
that
York,
about?
for
Oh,
a
okay.
weekend.
Oh, okay.
And we celebrated at breast cancer survivors at B. Smith Restaurant in
Oh,
New York.
some good food.
In
Good
New York.
food.
Very
I
good.
And
like
after
good
that,
food.
that Sunday we went to see Motown the musical.
Oh,
and then
okay.
we came back.
Okay.
But I always like to do something to bring breast cancer survivors together. There are some people that just cannot talk about it.
Yeah.
So I want
Yeah.
to put it
And we're
out
going to
there.
talk about that
Yeah.
because we have someone up here that
Yeah.
didn't really want to
Yeah,
share.
Yeah. So I just want to put something out there where you can come and celebrate. And 2 weeks ago, I had a breast cancer survivor luncheon and fashion show,
Mm-hmm.
and it was well attended,
Mm-hmm.
and people really enjoyed it. And in that audience, when I asked all breast cancer survivors to come for a photo, there were people that I did not know they were
That they
survivors.
were, wow.
I did not know they were
Wow.
survivors. But it was an excellent program. So I always try to do something every weekend during the month of October.
Love it.
To celebrate breast
Love
cancer
it.
survivors.
Love it. I love it.
Yes.
So, Miss Joan, your daughter, and we're going to go into her story in a moment, Miss Desiree here. But tell me, as a supporter, what does this month mean to you?
Well, this month means to me outpouring of love. We do have some sadness too with it,
Yes.
hearing news stories.
Right.
But this is the month we have a lot of love, and I wish it could continue
Right.
year round.
Yes.
Yeah.
You understand?
And I think it should.
Because it should, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I hope it will, because every month, every day is somebody that has been diagnosed with cancer.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just wish that we will just give this love all
Yeah.
year round.
Yes.
Because people are they're more likely to give the love because they're aware. It's Breast Cancer Awareness
Right.
Month. So a lot of people, if they're not experiencing in their households or in their families or in their communities, they don't realize, even though they know it exists, they don't really realize it exists
And
the other 11 months.
Right.
But now with Breast
Right.
Cancer Awareness Month. So I think we're off to a great start. But I totally get what you're saying.
And she totally hit on something, wanting it to last all year, because there is a breast cancer support group that I'm a part of, and it's called The Journey Continues.
Yes.
And we came up with that name because the journey continues
Yeah.
outside of October.
Yeah.
The other 11 months, the journey does continue. And so being a part of that group reminds me that this journey, this October and this big pink ribbon is much more than just October.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. And as I was telling you ladies in the conference room, my grandmother is a breast cancer survivor. And she is she's to lie about her age. So we're not sure if she's 95, 96, 97. I can't quite tell because if most people say, okay, go by the year. But she fudged the year, so I'm not, and my mom's probably saying she's this, but then I don't know, she's 96-ish, let's just say, okay. Yes, and she is like the Energizer Bunny. So shout out Grandma. She is still surviving. Her journey is still continuing.
Yes.
And not to mention she had stage 4 colon cancer about 5 years ago, and she's still.
Still here.
So it's
standing.
yes, that's why I
wonderful.
firmly believe God has his hand on
Yes,
it.
he does.
Like it's his
Yes, he does.
plan and his time. When he wants you gone, you will be gone.
Absolutely.
So you can survive. And the reason why I say that is most people think breast cancer is a death sentence.
Right.
I say that all the time. But we have survivors sitting here.
Yes.
You want to share, Desiree, a little bit about your journey? Like how long ago were you diagnosed and Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because it's been 5 years. I'm a 5-year survivor.
Oh, yay! For
I
sure.
will say, one of the biggest things, many people, you listen to people that say, well, if you're over 40, and now they're saying if you're over 45. I was under both of those ages. I was before
Yeah, because
that.
before 40, they don't recommend that you get mammograms.
They don't recommend
Right,
it.
they don't
recommend
it.
it. They don't talk to you
Yeah.
about it. And I only imagine when you talk about God and His hand on it, if it wasn't for certain people, like my doctors and my physicians, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be here right now. But my story.
So elaborate on that. So did they tell you beforehand to get a screening or mammogram?
What happened? So when I was about like 34ish, 35ish, I'm telling my age. But
That's all right.
When I was about 34, 35.
You're still here, so you can,
And my physician was like, go get a baseline. If anybody knows what that is, a baseline mammogram is just one where you go and they can kind of see, where your breasts are at that moment. And then they come back at the recommended age, which is 40 or 40. Now they're talking about 45 to see if there have been any changes in your breast. So they tell me, go. And at 35, I'm like, what? I'm not 40. I'm not going, what?
Right.
What? I got 5 years before I got to do that.
Mammogram, but
And so he kept harassing me. My physician, it is a he, kept harassing me. Please, Miss Marcano, this is for his practice. I just need you to get a baseline.
now, did he see something, or he just was saying,
anything.
okay,
He just gets a baseline on
Okay.
all of his patients.
Gotcha.
I need a baseline.
Okay.
He just needs to know. He said, and then in 5 years, if I'm still your physician, then I can then see if there have been any changes. And so for 2 years, Kendall, I was like, no, I'm not 40. I'm not going to waste my time with that. Are you serious? And then finally, I go at like 36, 37 it was about. And they do the mammogram and they say, well, we see something. I didn't feel anything. And that's because everybody thinks breast cancer starts off with lumps. It's not lumps, everybody, all the time. Mine was called calcifications, which are like little rocks, kinda, in your ducts. They're ducts, but you don't really feel them. It's not like a lump. And what they saw were calcifications, and that's where your body tries to protect you from something that's going on in your body. And so my body was doing all these calcifications. The doctor said, well, that looks a little, weird. Let's see what's going on. So they go in a little further, and they find out. They were like, well, it's cancerous. On my birthday, I have to throw that in there.
well, on your 34th birthday, 35th.
On my 37th birthday.
Oh, by this
My
time 37.
Right. By the time I
Wow.
go, and he's like, my birthday. My birthday. And they call me back and they say, you did the test and it is cancer. And I'm like, what?
So what's going through your mind at that time? And
At
he did
that
it over the
time-
phone?
No. They call you.
Okay.
He calls me in for a follow-up.
So do you feel like you're like in the twilight zone? Do you feel like you're present in that moment? How do you feel at that
That's
point?
a good question. Because I just kind of felt like this cannot be happening. Are you serious? When they call me in, and then he's like, that's what it is. And I'm like, no. That's somebody else's films that you just looked at. That's not me. But it was. And so at that point, I had to deal with it.
37.
At 37. Called my mother all the way in Trinidad. Mother, they said it's
No, you didn't call me, honey. You called your father. You told him, and he was trying to keep a secret from me.
Wow.
But it didn't work because he was worried.
Oh,
I
wow.
was
Like any
worried.
parent would be.
Yes.
That's right.
But it's something that he wants to tell me. He wants to tell me, but don't know how to tell me.
Yeah, that's you
right.
don't know how
That's what
to
you
don't
even
know.
phrase that your baby
That's right.
has breast cancer.
That's right.
Like that's not a call that you want to hear. That's not a
right.
call you want to receive. So when you call your parents, when you call your dad,
He's the one that answered the phone, that's why. But the crying still happens.
Right.
And all that stuff. And I'm like, what a great birthday gift. And, they tell me, where I am. Thank goodness you can handle this. You can deal with it, so forth and so on.
now did they give you a stage at that point?
At that point, I am stage 0.
Okay.
At that point, I'm
And that's
stage
Yvette.
0.
Yvette Foreman is here in our audience. She was on the show a few months back, telling her story about her journey, but she said the same thing, that she was stage 0. And when I had Yvette on here, I didn't even realize there was a stage 0 until she said that.
Yes.
Okay.
And what ends up happening is
So
that
if you would have waited, I'm thinking till 40.
I wouldn't
with that
be here today.
right.
But I'm gonna tell you just how
Wow.
serious
Wow.
that is.
Wow.
So when I find out in my birthday, which is in the early part of the year, I'm thinking for work, because ladies, we all think, work can't go on without us. And so I'm like,
Nothing can go on without
right.
us. That's what we think, right?
I'm gonna take care of this, later in the year, because work starts to slow down.
Okay, women, this is what we always do. Always do. We get the news about us, but we feel like we're superheroes. We feel like we're superwomen. We try to take care of everything and everybody else around us and neglect ourselves. I know there are women out there that are shaking their head right now because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
We do. We think about everything and everybody else, and we neglect our needs.
That's what we do.
And that's what you did.
And that's what I did. And then by the time I had my surgery, mind you, the cancer is in my ducts, if everybody can imagine, just in my ducts. By the time I had my surgery, the cancer had broken out of my ducts and had started forming not one clump, not 2 clumps, but I had 4 clumps at the end it was a matter of 6 months.
So what are the clumps for those of you that can't?
The clumps of cancer cells.
Okay.
So that's what everybody knows about.
Okay.
Eventually I would have then been able to start feeling
the lump, because the clump is the lump.
I'm sorry, yes, the lumps. I am calling it clumps.
No, but that's okay. But I just
Yes.
want to make sure people are clear on that. So that's so that was the point where if you hadn't gone to get a mammogram, if you were doing self-examination, you would have started to feel that. Okay.
And thank goodness my fiance at the time, he was like, when I said, well, I'm gonna wait till like around December, when work, comes down. He was like, what, I would rather have you here than not here. He said, go schedule that surgery right now. And that's what I did. And then after the surgery, they tell me, it grew.
So how soon after, from the time they told you that you had breast cancer until the time that you got the surgery, what was that window of time? What was that?
My birthday is April. I had my surgery in August.
Okay.
And that's when they found the additional lumps, and it broke out, and broke out of the ducts.
So from April to August, it had grown that fast.
It had grown that fast.
Wow.
It was that aggressive.
Wow. Wow,
that
that's very aggressive.
Yeah.
So when they did the surgery, how were they able to contain it? Because they went in thinking one thing.
Correct.
And then they found out that it's just all over the place.
It's right. It's all over the breast. It's starting to spread all over the breast. So they just, I had already made a decision, for me, breast can be recreated and put back on. So just,
You had a double mastectomy?
And I had one.
Okay.
I had a unilateral mastectomy, right? That's what it's called, right? I had just one at the time, because it was just one side that was, having the issues with the cancer.
Okay.
So, but had I not made that decision, and I made that because of my mother, she was like, you can get breast from anywhere.
I took the next available flight.
I'm sure you did.
And on my way up, I said to my husband, I says, we're going to take this breast off. And he says, but you don't even know. I said, I don't want to know. It's only one choice we have where cancer is concerned. We're not playing around with this. Take it off. And I came right up and was there with her. I've been with her through the journey. And her journey is my journey.
And her journey is my journey. Her journey is your journey. Because that support and love and that understanding, that's what we need. Miss Gloria, before you talk about your journey, since we're talking about my journey is your journey is her journey, we're in this together, even if Miss Joan and I, we don't have breast cancer, but we're still in this to support you guys. So let's talk about that. I know in the waiting area, we talked about how important supporters are. Explain, I know you just touched a little bit about your friend and when she had breast cancer and then you had breast cancer, and then we'll go into how you got the news about your diagnosis.
Okay. Yeah, I had friend, but several friends. But this one particular friend, she had breast cancer, and I was there for her every step of the way. And it was about 10 or 15 years between her diagnosis and mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was diagnosed in '03, and I never heard from her. She didn't call me. She didn't come to see me or anything. And I'm thinking to myself, we were so close. I'm saying, what is this all about?
Because you were there through her
I was there
journey
for her,
through
yes.
breast cancer.
Yes.
That supporter for
Yes,
her, but
yes.
years later when you had breast cancer,
Yes.
she was nowhere to be found.
No, didn't call me.
How did that make you
come to see-
feel?
Awful. Awful because we were supposed to be friends. But evidently we were not.
Because
friends.
everybody's definition of friendship is not
That's-
the same.
that's right.
We know that. We are
That's
a friend
exactly
to
right.
many, and sometimes they're
That's
not a
right.
friend
Yeah.
friend to us.
But she was not there. She didn't call me. She didn't come to see me, or didn't send me a card. Didn't do anything. But I said to myself, it was very, very difficult to try to understand why your friend is not there when you need them the most. At that time, breast cancer is very, very difficult, especially if you've never experienced anything like that before, no family history or anything. But I was there for her, and I could not understand, and it kept going through my mind, well, why is she treating me this way? And then one day I said, Lord, take this away from me. I said, I don't need this. I need my strength to get well.
That's right.
And that's exactly what I did. It was very difficult to just dismiss a friend, but I had to. I didn't have a choice.
I'll say what I said in there, and
Yes.
you say what you said in there. She was supposed to be gone a long time ago.
Yes.
She wasn't supposed to be there. God
That's
has a
right.
way
That's
of
right.
timing and
Absolutely.
removing people when they need to go.
Absolutely.
So whether you had cancer or not, she was supposed to go.
Okay. Well,
And what did you say, Miss Joe?
she went.
She said yes. She said,
And
"I'll
she
pay."
went.
Right.
Yes.
And that right. So tell me, okay, what was that moment like? Like, how long have you been a survivor? Probably all your life, but how long have you been a breast cancer survivor?
12 years.
12 years.
Yes.
Come on now. Wonderful. So 12 years ago, well, more years ago than that, you got the news, but what year was it when you got the news, and how did you discover?
It was 03. When I first got the news, I am the kind of person that always looked out for everybody else, make sure everybody else. So this particular day, I took my sister to the doctor, and at the time, I was looking for a new PCP, and I sat there and I read his information. I said, he seems like a good doctor.
Primary care physician,
Yeah.
for those of you that
Yes,
don't
I'm
know.
sorry. Yes. So I walked up to the receptionist and I said, I'm going to call and make an appointment. She said, why don't you do it today?
Your sister.
The receptionist.
Oh, whoa.
The receptionist said, why don't you? So I said, okay. That was the best decision I could have made. Because when I felt something in my breast, it was burning. But it wasn't, I just dismissed it. Didn't do anything about it. That was in March.
And I'm sure so many people do that because
Yeah.
so many people dismiss it and
Just
think,
dismiss
oh,
it.
it's this or it's that or it's because of this. We make
right.
excuses
They
for
don't have
things
a-
in our body.
And don't have a clue that it's
Right.
anything about
Wow.
cancer. So I went to the doctor. It came on the outside, the way that people get skin cancer. That's how it came on the outside. And I'm saying to myself, I need to take care of this.
So it was a visual.
Yes, it became.
It was visual.
Yes.
Was it a lump, a rash? What did it look like?
It was a purple, reddish purple something.
Like a mark, abrasion or some type.
Yes.
Wow.
That came up. And
Wow, on the outside.
On the outside.
I've never heard that before.
on the
So
outside.
okay, so and I just want people to know, like if you have any marks on your breast
That's right.
or if you feel any lumps,
That's
or for your a lot of women, and me and Yvette talked about this. A lot of the husbands find the lumps,
Yep.
you know, or you or any discoloration, something is wrong. If it's not as your normal breast is,
Right.
Correct.
something is wrong. Okay.
And my diagnosis was stage 3. So stage 4, they say, is incurable.
Yeah.
I don't believe any of them are incurable.
Amen. Amen.
So I had my radiation. No, I had my chemo first to shrink the tumor, and then
Because that purple mark was a tumor,
It's underneath.
but it was underneath.
it came on the outside. It's like a little sore. Yeah. So they had to shrink it for whatever size it was. Shrink it, and then I had the mastectomy after my I had chemo to shrink the tumor. Then I had my mastectomy that was in October, and I had mastectomy in April. No, I'm getting my dates. In February, I
Okay.
had the mastectomy in February.
Okay.
And then I had the radiation 6 weeks every day after the chemo. And it was a journey like no man should have to experience.
Exactly.
Because people around you, they really don't know what to do for you. You know, they think they want to help, but all of your emotions change. Everything changed. My eyesight changed. My teeth changed. My hearing. Everything.
With the
about me.
radiation or the chemo, or just the cancer itself?
Probably, I don't know.
Everything. Probably a
the
combination.
of all of it.
Yeah.
Yes. So I just decided myself, I said, Lord, I am too young to die. I said, so we have to fight this thing. I said, I know if I have you, I'll get through it. And I did. And I would always picture myself. There's a saying, footprints, what they say.
Oh, yes.
Footprints in the sand.
Always, that's right.
Yep. That
Always
was something that
envision.
my
Yes.
my grandmother that I was just
Yes.
talking about. Every funeral, anything in my family, my grandmother always had me reciting footprints. I had to get up there and recite footprints all the time, so I know that all too well. And that's a powerful piece.
So I said to myself, I said, well, when we were walking along the beach in the sand, and there was one set of footprints, he had me in his arms, carrying me through this journey, because I could not make it on my own. So I just decided, I said, I'm gonna work on this. I'm going to share my story to see if I can help other people, so that other people won't have to go through this. You know, members. I have a large family. Hopefully, none of them will have to go through it. But we never ever know, because we do not have a history of breast cancer in our family.
So sometimes people there's no rhyme or reason.
That's right.
Sometimes.
That's
and
right.
I know some people think they're exempt because they don't have family members
no.
who have gone through
Right.
this battle.
That's
So
right.
Miss Gloria is here
That's
to
right.
tell you that
That's
that's not the case.
That is-
So if you're putting off your mammograms or you're not going to the doctor because you think you're exempt, think again.
Think again.
Because you're not. And Miss Joan, you said that you thought that as well.
I thought that as well, because we haven't had it in our
You don't have any.
not on my side of the family or her father's.
Isn't that
side.
something?
We haven't had it.
That's
So
right.
when she came down with it, it was, what the, you know?
Yeah, where did you? Right.
What the you
That's
know?
right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
That's
it
right.
just blew you away.
Because it's just the same as you can have a child, and you're like, who does this baby look like? It don't look like nobody on the daddy's side, nobody on the mama's side. Like, whose child is this? You know, so you can have a child that doesn't look like, don't have no kind of resemblance of anybody. Same with cancer, breast cancer, like nobody on either side. You're like, where did this come from? And it's just like when you think about it, and people need to know that, because when you go to the doctor, they ask you, do you have any history on who does your maternal, paternal side? And you think, okay, I'm good. I'm answering no to these questions. When it could be you. And then for your kids or your grandkids, you could be the one that sets it off for your side of the
Absolutely.
family.
Absolutely.
There's no way to know.
No.
And then me as a mother, I'm saying, well, why couldn't I get it? She's
Oh,
young.
bless you. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
That's a mother. That's a mother's
So then you
love.
have another little kind of guilt trip.
So you didn't think it was your fault, did you?
Why do you do things so?
Yeah. Because you
At
just
the
want to
first
protect your
time,
babies.
Yes.
You just want them.
always
Yeah,
wonder,
I understand.
Did I do something?
Yeah.
Well, I thought, well, maybe it was the similar
Yeah,
miracle.
yeah.
Something.
Yeah, because you're trying to make peace of it. You're
Yes.
trying to put the pieces together
Exactly.
to kind of figure out what happened.
Yes.
You know, because you don't know. If you feel like if you can make sense of it, then you can attack it. Then
Right.
then you can go and approach it a certain way. But if you can't make sense of it, you know.
couldn't.
But that's
This is
how
the
God
baby,
does.
you
Like
see.
sometimes you just don't know.
don't
It's
know.
not for us to know sometimes.
absolutely.
But as a parent, I have 2 daughters. I talk about my daughters all the time. I totally get it.
Yeah.
And all you parents out there, all you moms, I know you get it. You want to be able to kind of take the bullets for your child.
That's what
And then when you can't, then as a mom, you feel helpless.
you feel helpless.
So when did you, and Miss Gloria was talking about, she knew that she was going to fight it. She was going to get through. She had God on her side. She had, the supporters. I know in the conference room, you were saying you wanted to tell everybody so you
Yes.
could have everyone's prayers.
Yes.
And then Miss Joyce, you were a supporter, the supporter that Miss Gloria is talking about. So what was it like? Not only are you a supporter, this is your daughter. That's totally different
Yes.
from me being a supporter.
Right.
But to have some type of strong attachment to it, because I'm sure you felt like you had breast cancer.
That's exactly right. I felt like, number one, like I should have had it instead of her. And then when you get over that, then you feel like I still do have it. Because the same pain she's going through, I'm going through because I'm with her at every step of the way. I'm with her. Everything she went through, I was right there. You know? And I could see the pain,
So painful.
and that pain pierces you as a mother.
When you see your baby in
Pierces
pain.
right, and she is the baby.
How many children do you have?
3. And she's the baby. And it just pierces right through. And I feel like if she's not with me, that she's unprotected. That's
So
the
did
way
you
I
move
feel
here
even
from
up to
Trinidad?
now.
So-
I've been living here for over 50 years.
Oh, okay.
I was on vacation.
Oh, okay. So you were on vacation
I
back
was
to
on
Trinidad.
vacation,
Okay.
yes.
So you felt like, and I totally understand that she wanted to be around you all the time.
Yes.
My daughter doesn't have cancer. My daughter's, but I feel like I can protect you from a car accident. I can protect you from anything if
Exactly.
you if you
That's your
put your
baby.
eyes on them.
Yes.
You got to have your eyes on them. You know how that is.
And thank
You
goodness.
feel like that. You do. Like that makes my eyes water up just now because you want
Yes.
to protect your children.
Yes, she was away for a few months there for a while, and it bothered me.
Yeah.
But I couldn't let her know.
Yeah, because that would have stressed her out more.
Yes,
Yeah.
I couldn't let her know because I felt it was a wrong decision she made to leave.
To leave where?
When she left here
she-
and went away.
She has fast forwarded.
Okay, okay.
Has fast
So bring us to.
You still supported us when she was gone.
Yeah, and I mean, it
This
hurt me
support.
so much, but I couldn't let her know the hurt because I felt, well, she's so far away, she's not taking care of herself. I'm not seeing if she's eating, if she's sleeping properly.
But you know how you mothers
You
are.
know.
Yeah.
You know how
What
you
kind of
mothers are.
stress
It's
she's
that
under.
support.
You understand what I mean?
I know exactly what
It's
you
that
mean.
kind of support.
I know exactly, and I think even as a mom to mom, I think it's a thing where you gotta trust what you instilled, and you gotta know that she got the sense that you gave her. You know what I mean? Or that you tried to, right?
so.
And then that's where that hard praying comes
Yes.
in. That's when it comes. But it's easy to say. I know it's very difficult. I
And
know.
some
Yeah.
people say, well, you're selfish. And I say, well, it's my child, it's not your child.
Right. Right.
You understand?
Amen.
So if I'm selfish, it's okay.
Yeah.
And right now, and Yvette could tell you, we're always together. Because I think I'm watching.
And it makes you feel better, right? It makes you feel better. No, I understand that. And you just said something. Yvette just said said something off mic. She said even when your daughter wasn't around, you still supported
That's what
other
it is,
people
yes.
in the
And that
group.
is
The
big.
journey
I
continues
love,
with.
I
It's
love
big.
the
Yes.
group of ladies I'm with.
And
I
that's
love
big.
them.
And that's big.
Yes.
So Miss Gloria, tell us about the journey continues.
Well, the Journey Continues is an organization that we started, about 2 years ago?
I was like,
More than
no, it's been about last year,
Oh.
2 years.
Oh, okay.
Non-profit.
Yeah.
In the
Not,
community.
yeah, not for profit.
like we're older
You know.
than that.
Because you guys been together longer than that. You were in
Yes.
another group.
In another
So
group,
that's
yes,
why
yes,
it
yes,
seems
that's why it
like,
seems
yeah,
longer.
yeah. And we're
Yes.
going to talk about that.
Yes, but the journey continues. We have our mission is to reach out to other women
Mhm.
with breast cancer,
Wonderful.
and we have what is called a care team.
Mm-hmm.
Care is C is comfort, A is advocacy, R is resources, and E is education.
Wonderful. Love
and
it.
we each one of us researches the I guess the captains, whatever you want to call it. We research our letter and bring the information back to
Love
the group.
it.
Like someone will
Love it.
comfort, Ruth Lewis is
Love that.
comfort, and I'm advocacy, and Ara is Lavanya,
Love
and
that.
E is Dr. J. We call it Dr. J. So we research information, bring back to the group, and we're also there to support the group in case something is going on. Every time we have a meeting, we share what is going on
What's going on with
among
this
us.
So you check in with one another.
Yes.
You make sure that that mental is right.
Yes.
Make sure
Yes.
that the health
Yes.
is right.
Right.
You're kind of
That's right.
your sister's keeper type
Yes.
thing.
And whatever we can do to help each other,
Wonderful.
that's why we do that. So go
Wonderful.
ahead.
And the group, because it is more than just breast cancer survivors, right? So
right.
it's the people that want to support
Yeah.
a family member, like
Absolutely.
a mother or a friend. We take everyone and we reach out to the community.
Yes.
Like our president, Miss Marlene King, she just went to Annapolis and advocated for dying with dignity, for persons who might be facing death,
Yes.
and you want to make different decisions, and so she went to Annapolis and she did that. We also we have a lot in October, of course, the
Yes.
Pink Ribbon Month.
Yeah.
We have a lot that we have going on. So that she did with for metastatic survivors. I'm sorry, and those are people that are in stage 4. And as Miss Gloria had mentioned, stage 4 is the stage where they tell you, there's really no coming out of it. She did that. We had our first annual celebration of love and life event. Where we honored this first president, but we had a good time.
It was
we
great.
were
It was
celebrating.
I think
celebration.
Yvette
Yes.
told me about that's the one you told me
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
We were celebrating like
Yes.
we had a good time.
Wow.
The room was pink, but we
Wow.
had a good time.
Wow.
We had a good
That's so
time.
funny you said that. So, did anybody before you had breast cancer, or did you hate pink?
I hated it.
I was going to ask you that.
I
didn't have
when you
anything
said that,
pink in
did
my
you like
wardrobe.
it?
Anything.
Absolutely nothing pink in my
That
life.
is so
And
funny.
now I can't get enough of it.
now you love yourself some
Love
pink,
now.
right? Loves me some pink,
Yes, indeed.
right? But that is so funny, and I could tell just by how you said it was pink. And we had, so you hated pink, that girl, because it's so fluffy
It's
and
so
warm
fluffy,
and girly. Pepto-Bismol,
Damsel in
right?
distress.
Damsel, like pretty and pink, right? Right. So
Now it's
now
strong.
it's like pink
It's a
is
strong
a color of strength. That's what I was gonna say.
Yes.
So I want to talk to you, Desiree. I want to talk about, and you too, Miss Gloria, chime in on this. I want to talk about Black women of all colors in their hair.
Oh my goodness.
Their
my
crown
goodness.
and glory.
Oh my goodness.
And radiation and chemotherapy and all of that. You were telling me a
I was
story. I
telling
would
you a
love. I
story.
told you we had a show before the show, okay? And I was like, we gotta stop talking. We gotta stop talking because we're gonna sit there and I want you to say the same thing, because I think it was very. And the reason why I want her to repeat it and I want to talk about this because there's someone right now going through this same thing at this very moment, worrying about their hair,
Yes.
worrying about their breasts, worrying about how am I going to look. So take us through that.
Okay. So the whole hair thing. When I came in and met Kendall for the first time, if you can't see her, she has these beautiful locks.
Thank you.
And so I'm looking at the locks and I was like, I have a story for you that I know you would be able to understand. And so the story is, before I went through started this journey, I had locks. I had them for like 25 years.
Wow.
And that's who I was. That's what I did. So then I come up with the breast cancer, and I'm going through that journey, and then my doctor tells me, you have to go through chemotherapy. I'm like, are you serious? I thought I was just going to be able to have surgery, and that was going to be, the end of this.
Because you said the
journey.
first 4 months or
The first 4 weeks.
Okay.
The first 4 weeks of chemotherapy, the doctor says, well, most people, their hair will fall out after the first 4 weeks. So like I was telling Kendall, like the 5th week, I still had my locks, my whole 25 years worth of locks on my head. I was like, yes, I got this. I'm going to be the one that's going to make it through chemotherapy and not lose any of my locks. So one day I get up, I go into the restroom, getting ready for my day, and I'm sitting there in the mirror, and all I hear is a thump behind me, like a boom. And I'm looking around, there's nobody behind me. And then I look down on the ground, and my locks, a bunch of my locks had just fallen out of my hair. And at that moment, I was like, oh my goodness. Because all this, I was hopeful. I made it past the 4th week. It's the 5th week. I was going to make it. And just that thump and turning around and seeing that pile of my locks on the ground, I was just... I didn't know what to do, because for 25 years that identified.
That was a part of who you
That
are.
was a
That
part
girl
of
with the
who I am.
locks.
Right.
Oh, you know how the one
Yeah.
over there, she has the locks, and people will start to refer to you as characteristics or
Right,
things
right.
that you have. They
Characteristics.
start to do that. Oh, the one with the mole, the one with the locks,
Right.
oh, the one with the blonde hair. That's what people
Yeah.
do.
That's what they
That's
did.
what they do. So,
And that's what they did.
I want you to bring the humor to it, because then it wasn't humorous. It wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny.
Was sad. But I want you to see her laughing at it now. Somebody's crying right now.
Yeah.
But
it's
I want you to
okay.
talk about
I
the Donald
promise you.
Trump that she did. with the
Donald,
locks.
I did the Trump, everybody. I did the Trump. So after
This is the only time we're gonna reference Donald Trump on this show. I'm
Exactly.
just letting you know. Okay.
So my
We don't
locks,
support that foolishness, but go ahead.
all right, my locks are, they're falling out, and I'm doing different funky things with them. Still got a little bit of them on my head. So, but they're falling out like around the curve, the edges of my head. And so the Trump, I take my locks, because it's been 25 years, and I start wrapping them around my head so people don't know. I'm wrapping them around, all my locks on top of my head. And then till finally, again, the love of my life, he's like, you know what? It might be that time. And that time is because locks can be heavy. They were falling out, and so he's like, let me just shave them off for you. And so I shaved them off, and I was a bald diva, though. I did learn to look in the mirror, and I didn't have to have that identifiable, locks on top of my head. I was a bald diva. I was.
And I must say,
Grease my
she
head
was
up.
beautiful.
I know she
Go
was.
away.
Listen to the mom. I know she was, Miss Joan. She's beautiful now, so I know she was. But if your fiance could see you now, bless his heart. Well, I'm not gonna make you cry. We're
Right.
not gonna.
No, we're not gonna
gonna
go
go about that.
Yep.
But and it's just, but the way that you can laugh and smile now, I know that had to be a terrifying moment.
It
And
was.
people might say, "Oh, it's just hair; it'll grow back." But that's
more than
almost
that.
like the stamp that you have cancer.
Yes.
It's almost
is the
like
stamp.
That is
ooh,
real, yes.
like this is for real.
Yes.
This is
Like
for real.
this is no
You hit
joke.
it. You hit
That's
it.
right.
And that's the total different awakening
That is
when
the
you start
total
to be
different awakening.
yeah when you start seeing the effects of cancer, because at first when you think
Correct.
you're not sick, you have cancer but you don't feel sick,
don't
nothing
feel
is
it.
happening.
Right. You don't look
Right.
it, and at that moment I looked it, as
Wow,
I
bless
walked
your
out
heart,
and
bless your heart.
had to go to work, and my first day of work I had a hood over my head, and I'm sitting there with my head down in my lap, because I'm like, I cannot believe this. I can't believe this. Until somebody was like, girl, you better go out there with that bald head and be okay with that. and I took my hood off, and I was a bald diva for like a year and a half after that. So yes.
And look at you now. Look at the cute little puff puff. Little puff puff with your afro puff. I had a puff too when I first went natural. I loved my little puff.
Yeah.
So Miss Gloria, you were sharing your hair story too. You want to tell the viewers about that?
Well, I've always, all my life, had really, really thick nappy hair that looks so good when you get it straight.
The one that keeps that curl. When you curl it, that nice.
So I said to someone, I used to have thick hair like Oprah. Yeah, right, Gloria. I'm going to bring my picture and show you my hair.
I believe you.
Mm-hmm. We all believe you.
But the one thing, when my hair started coming, I used to wear my hair in a pull back in a braid. And then it started coming out from the edges. And then one day I stood in the mirror and I took the braid out. And that was when most of my hair came out.
So when you undid the braid,
Yes.
your hair just kind of fell.
Yes.
Wow.
And when you see on TV for women in the mirrors combing their hair and it's coming out, that's a reality. Because, and I didn't know what to do. I've had all this hair all of my life. Now I won't have any hair. But I would always bring myself back to, you're still alive. You can grow some more hair, or you can go to...
Go ahead.
Say it.
You can go to the Chinese people and get some hair.
You can buy you some hair,
As long as they're in business, you have some hair. After I got through, the hair situation is for real.
Yes.
It is really, really for
Yeah.
real. Because it's as if you are losing a part of you.
Yeah.
And you've been used to this hair all your life.
Especially when you had hair your whole life.
Yes.
That's a bit, and you didn't decide
That's
to
right.
cut it off.
Right.
Like it was
Right.
decided for
Yes.
you.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Anything that's decided for
Yes.
you
Yes.
is a lot.
Yeah.
And especially when you're not ready
Right.
to start that next chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was what it was. Going through that next chapter, without a hair. But I would always wear a hat. I refuse to walk around bald head. And this is just my vanity.
Yeah. But everybody is. Yeah. Everybody
I
is.
would
Yeah.
always have some kind of hat. on
Even
my-
if the hat was a wig, right?
Well, that came after.
No, but that's still a hat.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes,
still a hat.
yes,
Okay.
Yes. So I had this one particular nice black hat that I had when I was diagnosed, and I would wear it all the time. And I had my wig on underneath, and I was down at Mercy where I had all of my treatment, and there was this couple that was sitting out there. It was so cold, and they barely had on coats or anything like that, and they were begging, so I gave them. And luckily, I had some cheese crackers in my bag because when I would I would always take something with me. And I gave them the cheese crackers, and I gave her my hat.
Oh,
I gave
wow.
her that black hat.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
How that was freeing.
Yes.
That was freeing.
Yes.
And that showed that same thing that you're caring about someone else more than yourself. And isn't that something how someone homeless out in the cold,
Yes.
they don't have a place,
Right.
they don't have a hat to keep them
That's
warm.
right.
You're hiding behind your hat.
Yes. Yes.
But you think enough of someone
Yes.
else to take that hat off and to give that hat. I love that.
Well, thank you.
Go, Miss Gloria. I love that. Okay. So when you're going through it, and of course your daughter is going through it, but as you start to see Desiree go through the changes, the noticeable changes, what does that do to your psyche? Like, I know you're not trying to let her see, but the first
pain.
time you saw her, the pain, you
Yes.
said,
It's,
like,
it's
what?
very painful as a mother, watching your child go through the changes of her body, because I look at her all the time, and it's very painful. But then again, I said, she's here with me.
That's right.
That's because you won't let her out your sight.
I wouldn't let her. She's here with
That's
me,
right.
and
That's right.
That is the most
That's right.
important thing.
That's
And
right.
We got to have, overall, we must have a great attitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
That this is whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
a sickness, a disease, whatever. that we got to beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love your shirts because everybody knows if you're on social media, you know that it's straight when the movie Straight Out of Compton came out, NWA's movie. Everyone started going around with the shirt straight out of Jersey. Shout out South Jersey. Straight out of Jersey, straight out of Philly, straight out of Baltimore, straight out of. So that's what was going around. But I saw these shirts and I love them. Straight out of cancer. The journey continues straight out of cancer. I love that. You have yours too?
I haven't gotten it yet.
You haven't gotten it yet?
I will.
You're gonna get yours too?
Yes.
You look
Yes.
lovely though, and you're pink and
She
everything.
always do.
Yeah. And so pink is just a new color added to your
Added to the
wardrobe.
wardrobe,
Do you
yes.
wear pink all the time or just in
I have a lot
October?
of pink.
You have a lot of pink.
Too much now.
Too much?
No.
Do you have a lot of pink? Or do you wear it outside of October?
Yes.
Yes, sometimes.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't.
Right. But the October is good.
But October is
But
good.
you have your keychain probably
Yes,
all the
my
time.
keychain. all
So
the
do you
time,
always have a symbol, a color, or something to remind you, other
I
than
do,
your
yes.
memories, but something that you can hold and remind you that you are a
Mine is
survivor?
hanging right on my purse, right over
You
there.
have. Yvette has a pink charger,
Yeah.
pink
Yvette, you see
phone
my-
case.
Look on my
Pink.
purse. It's hanging right on my purse.
So you have something just to, is it to let you know how strong you are, that you're a survivor, that you
Both.
are, fighting cancer? What what do those symbols mean to you?
It's strength. It's strength. Because it's just so many different things. Like the scars that you endure. Those are things to remind you of the journey.
The physical
scars. The physical scars
Okay.
that you have, the things that you are missing on your body. Those are all things that kind of empowers me to move forward.
Yes.
Even after things have been taken from me, those are things that I can look at and say you did this,
Wow.
So-
Was there ever a moment that you thought you couldn't do it? Or you couldn't make it to the next day?
No.
Or as far as
I-
pain, so you
no,
knew.
I never
Oh, she
allowed
didn't
myself
feel
to
like
think
that.
that way.
Okay.
I really didn't. That's because you can go into a depression
Okay.
or anything else.
And
I said, no.
many people do.
Yeah, I said,
Many
no, I'm
people
not,
do
I'm
go
not ever
through.
going to think that I will not
Wonderful.
make it through this journey.
And I say with anything, that positive attitude and that positive outlook, and knowing God, and knowing that it's not the end. That you
That's
could. Yeah, I think that that negativity feeds
Yes.
negativity.
Yes.
That
Yes.
that loathing, that type of self-doubt, I think that just feeds more of that. Even if you're not, and I tell people, even if you're not positive, even if you are a little weary, fake it until you make it.
Right.
Fake like you're happy. Act like you're happy. Whether you gotta, pray, read, talk to somebody that's always positive, because I'm sure it's easy to stay in that funk.
It is.
My doctor, one of the
she's
things that
not
he
gonna
said
stay
to
Look,
me,
look. Miss Jones said
It ain't
no.
happening.
It's easy to say.
Miss Jones said she's not gonna stay in that funk with her
Not
now
with
that
me.
she's around. I love you, Miss Jones.
but one of the things that my doctor said to me, he said, Miss Jennings, your attitude towards this has been remarkable.
That's right.
He said a lot of people would come in, they don't do the follow up,
That's
or
right.
anything like that, and he probably called me Miss Questionnaire because every time I went in, I had some questions.
That's right.
Because when I was first diagnosed, I didn't know what to ask.
But I think that's so important. I'm glad you said that. Even if you don't know or you think you know, make sure you know.
Yes.
Call your doctor.
Yes.
Be a pest. Get
Yes.
online. Now, not online to diagnose yourself,
Yeah.
No.
but just to find out what the terms are.
Yes.
Find out
Yes.
whatever, the different terminology, because I'm
Right.
sure there's a lot of things that
A
they
lot of
talk
things,
about. And,
yes.
and if you've never experienced, you're like,
That's right.
what's
You're
that?
right. That's right.
So that I'm glad that you talked to your doctor and you found out, and did he answer, did just knowing certain things, did that make you feel a little better? Did that give you some sense of comfort?
Yes, it really did. And even today, I have my follow up with him next month. There'll be some more questions that I want to answer. Because as you move forward, and even though you're doing well, you still want to know. I had my doctor give me a letter stating that I was cancer free. Don't just tell me No, if you put it on paper, it's
It's
real.
real,
to me.
right?
That's right.
Yep.
So he did that for me.
Wonderful. So was there, I know your mom was like, no, 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 but was there ever a time that you kind of were down in the dumps? Like you're thinking, did you ever question why me? Or did you just say, this is what I have and I'm going to deal with it?
I'm gonna go with that. Not even that this is what I have and so I'm gonna deal with it. I think the support, like support is just so.
Yes.
I know I keep talking about that, but you
that's so
really,
important. Yes.
you have got to have a support system around you that can keep you laughing and can, you know, tell you you're still beautiful. Because ladies, really, like this is one of those moments where you question.
Yes.
You question that, so you need somebody to you know, to say those things to you and mean it. You know, I can honestly say during that part of my life's journey, I did not get down in the dumps.
Wonderful.
There have been times I've been down in the dumps,
Yeah.
but that wasn't one of them. I really, you know, had that support system, which is just remarkable.
Yes.
Like just remarkable. Like, because as we were talking, like I couldn't talk about breast cancer.
And I was going to ask you that,
diagnosed.
yeah.
I couldn't talk
Because
about
you
it.
guys were extreme opposites. Miss Gloria said she told everybody because she
Everybody.
wanted everyone to pray for her.
That's right.
And then you told
all
everyone.
my friends.
But Desiree, you said you didn't want to share that with anyone.
I didn't even
Why?
with the hair falling out, you know, the obvious sign and everything. If it wasn't for Yvette and me talking to her over a snowball, I was able at that moment to say, you know what, I do need to share this with people.
Because you shared it with your organization.
Correct, of
But
course,
you
the
didn't
organization
share
knows.
it
But
with,
out
right.
in public. I
Now,
wouldn't
why do you
it.
think that was?
I didn't want people to know?
Is it that you
Like,
didn't
I
want
just didn't
people to
want
feel
people
like
to
you were
know.
weak or to show pity or you just were private?
Or just, well, I am private, but just, you know, like just sick, like, oh well, don't do that
Yeah.
'Cause she's
Don't do
sick,
this.
right.
That's right.
They would make you
Yeah.
feel like almost like you were dying.
Correct.
Yeah.
There you
right.
go.
Yeah,
And they
because when
give me
people
injections.
they make you sicker than you
They
are.
make you sicker
You
than
know,
I
they
am.
make you. It's and when people are trying to be there for you, and I know we talked about this earlier, but some people don't know how to be there for you.
Correct.
So I wanted to talk about if you know someone that's going through this journey, if you know someone that's going through any journey. We were talking earlier, like I said before the show started, and a lot of people don't know how to be there for someone that's dealing with something. And sometimes you need to just ask, are you good?
Yeah.
Are you okay? I'm praying for you. If you need anything, let me know. And no, that's simple. But some people think they have to go say something deep. They have to do something extravagant. But sometimes it's just like, if you need me, I'm going to call away. Or what can I do for you? Or just anything like that. But people, sometimes they don't know what to say. To support somebody is not contagious. You're not going to get whatever they're
not gonna
getting
get
if you call them or if you go visit them.
That's
You're
right.
not.
That's
But you have to show that you are there for someone other than yourself. You
Yes.
got to do that.
Yes.
And like what you said with your friend, she might not know what to say, but just saying, I'm here. Miss Gloria is still ticked about that lady. I don't know who you are, lady, but if you're watching this, you know who you are. Okay? And you know you weren't there for Miss Gloria,
That's right.
and I got a problem with
And
that.
on the other hand, talking about support, I have a lot of nieces and nephews. My nieces got together and they gave me this certificate that they all signed. That they would spend at least 2 hours a week with me.
Aww.
They cooked, they cleaned.
Aw.
They
You
all
go,
kinds of
nieces.
things.
That's what I'm
They
talking
did.
about.
And Gina,
Yeah, give him a shout out.
Bishop
Miss-
Gina Dorsey was the spearheaded that for me.
Wonderful.
They
Do
were
you
taught-
have children of your own?
No.
So that was like, those are your children.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
They've all been my children all their lives.
wonderful.
But
Isn't
they
that
got together,
special?
and I still have that certificate. I think kind of faded a little bit, but I still have it.
And it's 12 years, 13, 14 years old.
12.
12 years old. So, I mean, that has to, and just looking at her face lighting up right now, they cooked for her. They gave her a certificate. They
That's
cooked
right.
for her.
Clean my house.
Clean her house. It's simple things that you
Wash
can
my
do.
clothes
Wash
whenever I
her
need
clothes.
to.
See, but that's it. And like sometimes you don't have to say nothing. Just go over there and start doing some dishes.
That's right.
Just go over there and bring a meal.
Come over and just sit down and have a conversation with me. You know, but they were very, very. I mean, they did everything for me.
That's wonderful. I think that's important. You had the same. I know your mama supported you. We
Yes,
already
indeed.
know
And I
that.
always said to her, Des,
miles to support me.
we didn't buy this sickness. We didn't
That's
go to
right.
Giant or ShopRite and buy it, because if we did buy it, we could return it. So guess what? We got it. We're gonna fight it.
No exchanges or returns, ma'am. Right.
We could kick it
Right.
out.
Right.
Final
We can
sale.
kick it out. Right. Final sale.
That's right.
Right. And that's funny. It could be discontinued. Okay.
That's what we're gonna do.
Right. But that's right. And it's like, can you imagine going through this journey without her?
I couldn't. I couldn't.
Mm-mm.
I couldn't.
I
Keep
couldn't.
laughing.
But that's
Oh,
good, because sometimes when you're laughing, you forget what you're going through.
what you're going
And I always say it all the time. I have a self-help book coming out in a couple of months, but I have one of the chapters I talk about that, and the whole chapter is about how to live your best life. And one of the chapters is just laughter, and laughter is the best medicine.
Yes, it
I
is.
did all this research, I put it in the book, but people say that all the time, but it truly
It
is.
truly is.
It can get you through a lot if you can
Yes.
laugh at it.
Every
Even
day.
it helps you realize that you're human.
Yes.
When you can even laugh at yourself.
Yep.
That's
You know what I mean? Or laugh at what you're going through, or we can laugh today. We could be crying on this show today.
Right.
That's right.
We could be sitting here like, dang, I don't want to watch no cancer show
Right.
because they're going to be all sad and dying and
Right.
crying. You know what I mean?
Right.
But just to talk about it, I think it's time for celebration that you guys are here to talk about it.
Yep.
right.
Yes.
Like that's a time to celebrate.
Yes.
Like I know you all know we're all 4 strong women up here, but did you really know how strong you were before this?
Well, for me, I always have to cry first.
Yeah. That's when you know you're gonna go out there and rock that. You cry first, you get it out, and you
Have to.
full steam
At
ahead.
the first
Right.
instance, I
Right.
always have to cry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I get myself a good cry.
Because that's how your superpowers come out. You gotta cry when it comes up.
Honey, you don't want to have nothing to do with it.
But sometimes they say, watch out, oh, she's crying. We know what's coming
But then,
next.
funny enough, she has never seen me cry over her
Wow.
sickness.
Wow.
Never.
That's true, Desiree?
That's right.
And I'm sure you
Never.
spent many a nights crying.
My husband has.
Oh.
And he would say,
Mm.
I don't know what you're crying for. She gonna be all right, but you is not the doctor. So how do you know? But we gonna beat this because we
Wow.
didn't buy.
That's
So we
right.
gonna
I
beat
love
this.
that. You need a t-shirt. You need a t-shirt, a pink t-shirt that says that.
Yeah.
You know, make sure I get my cut. You know, I'll donate that to a cause. But you need to do a t-shirt. I love that.
Telling ya.
That's so true. So did you guys know how strong you were before this?
Getting stronger.
I'm
every
always
day.
strong
Get
though. I'm a
stronger
strong
every day.
I
guy.
know, I can tell. I could tell.
Yeah, I'm strong. Although like I say, with sickness with other people, I am stronger. With
Yeah.
my family, I can break down.
Yeah.
Real
Because you're
quick.
human. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can pick up the pieces just as fast.
Is that you as
I
well?
can pick it up.
I'm
Or did you
learning.
have weak moments?
I think through this journey with the support, I was good.
Okay.
I was good.
Okay.
But as you said, you're a survivor. If you make it through life, you're a survivor, and the journey just
Continues.
all
That's
the way
why I
through.
love that
So
title.
there's other parts in my journey
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I was weak.
Because I mean, we're talking about breast cancer here, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure there are things that you've overcome. I'm sure there are things that you've experienced in your lifetime, and it gave you character, built your strength. It showed you how strong you were as a human being. We all go through things,
Yes.
but just to show you how strong you are, that's a blessing.
Yes.
You know, that's really a blessing to even have that. Did you find strength in this journey?
Well, I did, because I was always the person that looked after everybody else.
Mhm.
So if someone needed to go to the doctor
Mhm.
and I was available, I would take them.
Mhm.
My sister that's closer to me, I would always do things. And she had 3 children, so I said we had 1.5 child apiece.
Yeah.
But I was always there to willing to help people. You know, and if I can help other people, I can help myself.
Yeah.
So I said, no, this is not going to be a sickness. This is going to be a challenge for me.
Yeah.
In my life.
Yeah.
You know, at the time having my own business and no one there to pick up the pieces when I had started experiencing my journey. But I said, Lord, I only need you to go through this journey. And that's where I am today.
And I love what you said, and I preach this all the time about the words that you use.
Yes.
Your vocabulary, the verbiage, how you describe
Yes.
something. You really have to be careful with the words you use.
Absolutely.
And you just said that you weren't saying what?
I wasn't saying sickness, no.
Right. You were saying
challenge.
And I
Health
love
challenge.
that. I love that.
So do I.
I love that because it really is, the words that you use can really determine even your mood and how you feel
Yes.
and
Yes.
that positive choice, because everything is a choice.
Yes.
And how you deal with things, how you go through your life
Right.
is a choice.
It is.
You can wake up being pissed off at the world, or you can wake up saying, I'm going to conquer whatever comes
Whatever
my
comes
way today.
today.
Whatever
Yes.
your will, that whatever it is, I'm going to conquer it, and I'm
Yes.
going to be okay.
Yes.
Because that, and even it's proven that when people are sick with anything, that the positive attitude, that will to live,
Yes.
is what keeps a lot of people. When you have that kind of defeated mentality, or just that defeated attitude before you're defeated, then guess what?
That's
You
right.
this one, whatever it is, are going right. It's going to defeat you. That's just what it is. I just wanted to read a statistic from American Cancer Society in 2015. 231,840 new cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed in women. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
231,000. 840,000. That's a lot. 40,290 women will die from breast cancer. Breast cancer rates have decreased by 2% since 1990. That's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
2% since 1990. But I mean, with all statistics, early detection.
Yes.
Early detection is everything.
Yes, it
And
is.
getting your mammograms.
Not
Yes.
only that, we as women have to learn that breast is something you could get rid of. A lot of times we try to hold on to the breast,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the killer.
Right.
You
Right.
understand what I'm
Yep.
saying? We think that we cannot live
Right.
without that breast.
Right. Yep.
And sometimes that is where we go wrong. Get rid of the
Trying to hold
breast.
on to it.
Because the cancer is there. It's going to move to the rest of your body.
Yes.
It's going to kill you.
Yes.
Don't save it for the guy. Because he don't have breast
Right.
cancer.
And on that note, enough is said. Okay, we are at the end of our show, and Miss Joan just took it on home, and that's a fact. So I just want to extend my deepest thanks to you guys. My sincere thanks for you coming on here and sharing your story. And like I said before, when you share your story and your journey, it's not about you.
That's right.
Sometimes you go through the things you go through so you can be an example to others,
Right.
to show people, hey, I had this and now look at me. I'm a champion. I'm a survivor. So sometimes when people question, like, why is this happening to me? Sometimes it's not about you. It's about what you can give and what you can do
Right.
to others or for others. So I just really thank you guys for joining us at Konversations. And I'm going to put, yes, you want to give a shout out? Go ahead.
Just remember, the journey continues.
Yes.
That's our support group. Don't forget to log on to www.tjccares.org. That's our organization, and you can email us any questions. Come join us every second Thursday of the month for our meetings where we talk. And you can email us at info@tjccares.org.
Yes, and also
The
I'll
journey
have their
continues.
information on my Facebook page and in my email address, and my website livingtruelivingyou.com. I'll have information, and you can follow me on Facebook, Living True Living You Life Coaching, and I'll have their information on there as well. As you see here, breast cancer is not a death sentence. With early detection and mammograms and regular doctor's visit, surviving breast cancer is an option and a reality for many. If you are going through anything, there is always light peeking through. With prayer and a positive mindset, it can carry you a very long way. And it gives you what you need to continue your journey. Like I say, everyone's story, deserves to be shared. It's not about privacy, it's about transparency. Sharing your story can make a difference in your life and the lives of others. My number one goal is to inspire, uplift, and encourage you on this show, and hopefully today we did that, and hopefully we made you aware. If you're in the Baltimore County area, I have free certificates to get free mammograms, so hit me up with that and I can give you the little coupons. But there are clinics. Go to your doctor's office, Google. If you don't have the money or you don't have insurance, please don't let that stop you from getting a mammogram. Every year I just got my letter in the mail saying it's time for my next mammogram, and I know I'm running out of time, but I just want to talk about the New York Times talked about, they had a big issue on should you get annual mammograms. That was just last week, big news. Or should you get them every year or every 2 years. I would suggest asking your doctor. I would consider your past history, even though that's not always the case, but you have to do what works for you, but just don't ignore it. Don't act like you don't have to do it. As you saw with Desiree, it was before 40. So sometimes if your doctor or someone tells you that you need to do it, maybe you know it's good even if you find nothing, but at least you've done that.
That's right.
Yeah. So hopefully we shed light on this topic today, and I hope you're rocking your pink. You got 2 more days to wear your pink, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But it doesn't stop here. The journey does continue. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Remember, you are a star, so don't let anyone dim your shine. Thank you. Peace.